All right, we are back. What's up, sir? How you doing?
Great, how are you?
So we're just gonna dive right in. We kind of got cut off, a little wacky internet connection last time on our 7 cures. So we got through 4. So just a quick recap: the 7 cures of a thin purse, of a lean purse.
Lean
Lean
purse.
purse. First cure: start thy purse to fatten. Right. So it's out of everything you accumulate, from your job, whatever, 10% is yours to keep. Control thy expenditures, right? It's kind of narrowing down, what you need versus what you want, right? It's a very big, obviously big thing when it comes to trying to save and invest. Third, make thy gold multiply. So this was talking about the prudent investments, right? Not, taking a bread maker's advice on the stock market or vice versa. Like, invest with people who know what they're doing. You should know what you're doing, that kind of stuff. And then we got through 4. The fourth cure, which is guard thy treasures from loss, kind of reinforcing number 3. Don't, invest in someone who's just like, hey, I heard this tip about something. It's going down. It's like, no.
Don't hire your best friend from high school as your friend.
Yeah, do your research. Do your own research. Talk to people who are in the industry who have been doing stuff like this. Like, find people with knowledge of how to, accumulate and grow money to, then learn from and then put into practice yourself. Right? That all sounds pretty spot on. All right.
Yep.
Love simple. I'll take a sip before we get going. All right, here we go. Number 5, make thy dwelling a profitable investment. All right, so when I was reading this, I read the title, and we were just talking about this off air. I was a little confused as to where this was going. I was just like, oh, is he trying to encourage people to work from home or blah blah blah? I was just like, then I was like, this book is written in 1920, so how is that actually working?
Babylon, they had internet.
Yeah, so little did you know that Zoom was created in Babylon, BC. No. So it talks about, not wasting money on rent, investing in your home because you need to invest in appreciating assets, right? So I've always had an issue with the, people say, renting is just throwing your money down the toilet. No, it's not. It's providing a place to live. It's not. It's a little extreme to say you're just burning money if you're renting. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for the long term. But again, in the immediate, it's putting a roof over your head. So I in no way think that renting is a bad thing, or as some people say, you're just throwing money away. I disagree with that completely. However, investing in your own property, buying a home, that kind of stuff. Homes are appreciating assets for the most part. And,
But I think it's, again, like anything else, it's should be an appreciating asset, but you need to consult wise people. Because if you buy a home, if you buy a home with the intention of it being an appreciating asset, but then you have to sink, $80,000 into it to get it there. And then if you have, it all depends on where you're at in life. You better make sure you have a savings because the washer, the dryer, and the air conditioning all go out in the same month.
Yeah.
It's expensive. These.
Yeah.
So I think that it's where everybody's at in life, like you talked about before. Because for me, right now, I'm all about ease and simplicity. We have a 4-year-old, and we want to spend as much time with her as possible, molding her into a badass. And I don't want to have, I think I mentioned to you, our cabinet fell off the other day.
No, I don't know if you told me that.
Okay, so because she swings on them, it's whatever, right? So worse, the cabinet falls off. So sure, I can fix that.
Yeah,
I can go to Home Depot. I can do that. I can buy it. I can do all those things. That might take 3 hours for me on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm all right, well, if I don't want to spend 3 hours, and it costs me $120 to have a handyman come fix it. But because I live in an apartment, I literally call a leasing office and go, hey, it fell off.
Yeah.
It's broke. And then the next day, They're in and out the door in 3 minutes. I don't have to worry about nothing. Like, to me, that value of that while building a business and spending time with my family outweighs owning a home. So it's very dependent on position and where you're at in life. Now, we will not be owning or renting for the rest of our lives. It is
Of
simply
course.
just the
Well, and
where we're at
that right
now.
there, that example that you gave for you guys, like it makes renting make sense. Which is why I disagree with the whole premise of renting
Right.
is throwing your money away.
Right.
Because it works for you guys. It's where you guys are. It's what you guys need right now in the immediate, and that's fine. And it's providing you with a home. So
Yep.
so yeah. Now,
I
like
really
you said,
acknowledge that I have a pretty nice house for what I'm paying in rent. Like,
yeah.
a house. Because, we live in a nice place.
So then there's that, because you're always overpaying when you rent, because obviously no one's renting to break even. They're renting to make a profit.
Right.
So you're always overpaying. But again, like you said,
Paying for
you'd rather you see that extra investment, that extra pay, as making your life simpler. Oh, something broke. Hey, let me call the landlord tomorrow. Someone's going to be here and fix whatever's broken. Done.
Yep.
No. So I get that. So what this again is then talking about is, uh, you know, making your home let me try that again. Buying a home to make it an appreciating asset, because, and I heard this is not from the book, but this is something that I heard, which has actually gotten me more interested in real estate, is that the reason why real estate is an appreciating asset is because there's a limited amount of space on Earth, right? There is only so much land, and there's always more people that need homes.
Right.
So by that logic alone, if there's more people that need homes and there's only a limited amount of space to live, the space to live is going to be more expensive because it's in demand. It's the oldest principle there is when it comes to finances. It's demand, right?
Well, that's like, we're going to eventually move to a condo on the ocean. Like, that's the end. That's where we want to be.
Nice.
Right. There will be there's going to be places in between there that we live, but that's where we're going to own.
It's the end game. Yeah.
It's the end game. Maybe a house. I don't know. Just all depends on the time when we buy, right? But on the condo. And Christy and I were talking, and of limited space, oceanfront space is like the limited of the limitest. So that value, if we bought something, say, for $5 million, oh my God, if we kept it until we were 80,
yeah.
What is it worth? An insane amount of money for a tiny little.
Your daughter is set.
Yeah. like, all right, well, I'll just sell this and live somewhere else. I mean.
Or I'll sell this and downsize and buy 3 other houses.
Right. Right. I mean, I'm totally in it. It's an amazing principle.
Yeah.
But of all the principles in here that you're going to apply, I don't think I'd put this one at 5. I think I would put
it down the list a little bit?
Yeah, I would put it down the list. Just, again, what do you value? Ease. I mean, I know some very wealthy people who could go buy very nice homes that rent because they literally are like, nah, fixing things time and that's money. I don't want to deal with it. Like, I just don't want to deal with it. And I'm like, that makes sense to me.
It does, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. But again, it's just something to think about. Yeah. And that's actually one that I'm actually super interested in. So it's funny that you say you'd put that down the list. I'd probably bump it up. And that's why, and maybe that's why 5's a good spot, right? Because it kind of falls right in between.
Yeah, guy knew what he was talking about.
I mean, this wasn't an accident. So, how you feeling about that one? Pretty good.
Easy. Simple.
Number 6, I know. This is, like I said, this is going to be a quick one. Number 6, ensure a future income. All right. You got any notes on this one, or otherwise I got to do a quick read to remember what it is?
It's basically, I mean, he says small payments made with regularity produce profitable results. And what I thought was interesting in here, of course, you're talking about a future income. So you mean?
Oh, this is the one. I'm sorry. This is the one where he talks about loaning money to a money lender.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically, the stocks.
I mean, again, I could make an argument that this is the
same.
yeah, it's like the same as like the investing, like the prudent investing.
Yeah.
However, I mean, I guess this is different. I want to say earlier, so number 3, right?
Yeah.
The make thy gold multiply. So he's talking about like in the immediate, right? So investing to get paid. This to me is almost like a saving. So instead of putting, and we've talked about this countless times, instead of putting your money into a savings account where it actually depreciates over time, against inflation, making money that you put aside and save, making it grow, like he says, lending it to a money lender. So lending a money lender 100, I think he calls it, right, gold coins, right. So give the money lender gold coins, 100 gold coins, and he goes 20 years down the road, that's now 10,000 gold coins, right?
Because
so
basically reinvesting the dividends that you get paid.
Yeah,
it's basically talking about what we equivalent now to an IRA.
I was going to say this to me sounds like the ETFs that we're all about, which is like just set it there, set it, forget it, and let it grow, and then look at it 5-10 years later and be like, oh, look at all this new money I have.
Right. That's kind of, I think he's talking very much about retirement and then passing things on to, your family.
Yeah, so the last two are very much, last two are very much like future oriented.
Yeah, he talks about, one thing I wrote down here that I put a note was, use wise and well thought out methods. And I put, we don't do this anymore. Because it's just, this whole book is about wise and thought out methods. And so, again, talking about putting it in something that's going to grow, like the ETFs we talk about, something that's not as volatile as, I don't know what the Vanguard S&P 500 dropped over the last week, like $3 or what? You know what I mean? Like all the stocks lost everything. I mean, it's just put it in the right place.
Exactly. Again,
it's basically what you're talking about.
It's basically just, again, finding prudent things to invest, leave your money, let it, again, it all goes back to the compound interest, let it grow over time. And then that way, when you come back to when you need it, during retirement or whenever, you have much more.
Awesome.
All right. Number 7. We made it.
This one's probably my favorite. It probably should have been the first one.
I know, but I also understand why you would leave it like last, kind of like the last one.
Because everybody would check it.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, this isn't what I want to do.
Yeah. So the 7th cure, increase thy ability to earn.
I put beside that goals. This is basically our first 5 podcasts.
yeah, right. So again, very straightforward. Increasing thy ability to earn is basically investing in yourself, right? So whatever that is, whatever your trade is, for me, I'm a teacher. I'm in education. To me, it was getting a master's degree. I get a master's degree. I bump up on the pay scale, like easy peasy. Yep. I can also, I work in public schools. I can coach. All right. So coaching now increases my ability to earn. I get, extra money for doing that. And it's just basically, finding different ways to make you better at your craft, because the better you are, the more people will pay for you. And that's essentially what he's talking about. Right. So I forget if there's I know there's a specific example in here. I forget it off the top of my head. But one of the guys in the story, I forget his name, is a shield maker. So he says, dedicate yourself to being the best shield maker that you can.
Yep.
And once you have the best shields in town, like, you can demand a higher price. Once you have the best, shields in the entire city, you can demand an even higher price. It's very straightforward. But again, it takes time and future planning and dedication.
Yep. And I put on there, he said that the most vital remedy for being poor is not gold, but it's yourself. And this is what he's talking about. It's what we talked about in the first 5, 6, 7 podcasts. And he says perceiving accomplishment must be desire, and it must be strong and definite. And that's everything we talked about in those podcasts, again, about desires, potential, seeking expression, and developing the goals around that and figuring out how to build it. And you come up with that main goal, and then from that main goal, you come up with 10 ways to make it happen. Like, that is this whole friggin' little blurb is that.
Yeah.
And he says, this was cool because I like that he put general desires equal weak longings, meaning when we talked about that, right? Like, I want to be rich. Doesn't mean shit. I want to make $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
That's real. That's
it's specific, right?
It's specific, right? And it's cool to see that we talked about all this, and then here it is again from a book 100 years ago. The principles never go away.
Dude, I think that was one of the things that I immediately texted you upon finally started once I received the book and then started reading it. I remember texting you. I was just like, we've talked about all these things. I was just like I think the biggest thing I'm taking away, because I'm not saying I didn't learn anything new. There's obviously lots of new things to learn from this book. But I think what its main purpose is reinforcing kind of what we all know, right? So exactly, and again, I'm not saying that everyone knows all the ins and outs of money and investing. I know a lot of people don't, but once you read it, and you're just like, maybe I didn't know this, but I understand this, and this makes an incredible amount of sense.
Yep. No, it's awesome. I love that he puts in there too. He writes in there that he realized that the workers that did more got paid more, and that he decided he would be exceeded by none. And that when he did that, when he again put focus, which we talk about, put focus into the area. That's the whole point of the goals. This is law of attraction, right? Is in this book, because you write the goal, you focus on the goal, you get in the vibration of the goal, you attract the goal or the means to have the goal. He talks about all of that in here, about the more interest he put in his work, the more concentration he put upon his task, and the more persistent that he did it, the faster he was able to get to where he wanted to be, and then the more people paid for his work, and then there were a few people who could out-earn him because he was focused. I tell my daughter that all the time, focus. If she's doing something, focus.
Mm-hmm.
She spilled something the other day. Sloan, you weren't focused. Not that you didn't get in trouble. You weren't focused.
Yeah.
Right? So now she'll do something, or I'll do something. She's like, Dad, you weren't focused. You're absolutely right. I wasn't focused.
That's awesome.
Dad. The other day, oh my God, she made me so happy, dude. Me, her, and Christy on Sunday were leaving Whole Foods, and we stopped, grabbed our stuff, put the cart in the cart thing, and then walked the bags the rest of the way to the car. And she was like, yeah, we put our cars away because it's very frustrating when people are lazy and don't do it. And I was like, oh my God.
That's it. I'm done parenting. That's all you need to do. That's it. If you take away nothing else.
Oh, it was awesome. But it basically comes back to the same thing I'm sure is all over Instagram, but wisdom is worth more than anything. The more you know, the more potential you have to earn. I can charge what I charge, and I can do what I do because I'm good. I'm the good shield maker.
Yeah.
If I
here's a quick little thing. Here's a quick little thing that I actually heard that really kind of sunk in with me. Excuse me. Because it's true. The more you know, the more powerful you are. Knowledge is power, wisdom is power, whatever word you choose to insert there. However, knowledge or wisdom without action is useless.
Useless.
And that, to me, I was just like, yes, because everyone's always heard the knowledge is power, and probably heard it enough times that you probably rolled your eyes hearing us say it right now. Excuse me, still got a tiny little cough. But anyway.
Oh no.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, but what really sank in with me, because again, we've all heard the knowledge is power, wisdom is power, blah, blah, blah. The knowledge without action is useless. And it's true, because you can know everything there is to know. If you don't do anything with it,
Well, I heard a man,
what good are you?
yeah, I heard a man say years ago, and it stuck with me forever, that we basically have created a bunch of success zombies, meaning all we do is consume information about successful people and do nothing, which is
Nothing with it.
exactly what you're talking about. Like that's what we've created is everybody knows more than ever but does nothing. I mean, like we've talked about this, I'm sure, before, but we're more educated than ever before. We're dumber than ever before.
Well, dude, so I teach in an elementary school, right, K-5, and even some of like the first, second graders, they've got one of these.
Mm-hmm.
I am not anti phone. Like I'm anti phone in the sense that like if it's disturbing everyone and interrupting what we're doing, like put it away. But I try to teach them like you have infinite knowledge in your hand. And you can use it. Yes, obviously you can use this to play Candy Crush for hours. I mean, look, I'll be the first one to tell you the game's damn addicting and I love it. So you could do that, or you can use it to like learn and research topics and increase your knowledge. Never before have we ever had access to a computer, because this is a computer, in our hands 24/7. And
Right.
we use it to make memes, which again, I appreciate a good meme. But we use it to make memes and play games instead of helping it to better ourselves.
Right.
So that's something that I try to impart on my students. And it's just like, look, like, yes, obviously have your fun with the phone. It's nice to have a new, look, you like new shiny things, have a new shiny thing if it makes you happy. But use it to help you. Like, it is infinite knowledge in your hands.
See, that's the one maybe good thing about growing up now. Like I despise reading off of my phone. Like I fucking hate it. I hate reading off the computer.
Oh, no,
like,
I'd much rather read off a book. But yeah.
Print stuff and then I read it and then I go like, huh. And it makes things longer, but I don't know. I wish that the year graders or first graders didn't have the phones. But nonetheless, if they chose to use it the right way, where they could be, my God, they could own their own business in 3 years.
Yes.
Like, I mean, if the stuff that is accessible now, if we had when I was 17 or 18 with the ideas we had, holy cow, right? Because all we were was hungry to like earn. Like now we've lost that hunger to earn. It's very interesting because we've created that. Anyways,
Now
cool.
kids just want to be TikTok famous or whatever.
Well, I actually have this theory. It's kind of interesting. We'll talk about it. But before we go there, real quick.
Yeah.
He says in here, and they're very important, I think, is the man who seeks to learn more of his craft shall be rewarded richly. But then he says to always be in the front ranks of progress and do not stand still or you'll be left behind. That's very evident. And anyways, I thought those were super relevant. So to wrap this part up, like you have to take action and you have to pay yourself first, not only financially, but in knowledge. That's how you earn more. You can't just be like, all right, I want to earn more. You have to. Like he brings.
I mean, there's definitely something to vocalizing it, making it real, that kind of
100%.
thing. That's a start, but it's not everything.
He talks about that in there. There's a guy in his book that goes to his boss and asks him like 4 times in a month or whatever, like I want to earn more money, and the boss doesn't give him. And he talks about like you guys laugh at him, but he has a fundamental part of him that desires to earn more. We just need to get it going in the right direction and he'll be able to. Like instead of just saying no, let's teach him how to earn more. Become more defined in your craft and your boss will pay you more. Like it's the whole Seth Godin book linchpin. You basically become the linchpin of the company that can't function without you.
Yeah.
Then you're in charge. Or some other company will come by, pay you more to work for them because they recognize you're a linchpin. I mean, it's an awesome book. I love that book, Linchpin.
Yeah.
But I have this theory that, and it's really hard to explain. Everybody always looks at me like deer in a headlight, but maybe you'll be able to follow. So I believe we all generally start at a level playing field. Okay? So let's say...
Well, I'm already going to disagree there. But
Okay, but I think we all start at a level playing field of where we have the ability to learn knowledge and grow.
okay.
Okay.
So I would change that, and just for me, I wouldn't say that we all start at a level playing field. I would say that we all start with an equal ability to improve.
Sure. We
Okay.
all start with an equal ability to improve, especially because we all have phones now. Even the poorest of the people basically all have phones. Like,
So we're on the same page.
Okay. So that level, let's take 1920, right? You had this level of this Great Depression, and you had everybody down there, and that was low, right? And so everybody was like clamoring and working their asses off to try and get to this $1 million mark, this top thing here. So you had to work faster and harder and stronger, and just everyone was trying to accomplish that with this crazy intense work ethic, right? Because they didn't want to be the way they were anymore. So in the process of that, we then built ourselves up to where that, would you call it, jumping off point, we'll say. In 1920 used to be here. The $1 million mark's here. Well, now the jumping off point's here.
Mm-hmm.
But this became so comfortable that the space between here is so much shorter, but it's so much shorter.
But it's harder to attain because people get
But
comfortable.
no one's trying to attain it. So in essence, like, it really is easier to attain that $1 million now than ever before, but no one wants to because this is so comfortable. Whereas before you had all of these people like hoarding up to try and get there, making it harder. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, all you have to do is just work a tiny little bit harder than the people who are playing Candy Crush all day. And you'll get there easier than ever. But we don't have anybody trying because this is really comfortable, and down here was really not fucking comfortable.
Yeah.
Like,
so what I'm hearing from you in summary is that comfort is pretty much the death of innovation or achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you can figure out in this space how to make yourself uncomfortable, you have the potential to skyrocket beyond, because you're not really competing with that many people anymore.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah. So there's this drive to get from, low to, call it, moderately high. And then once people get kind of in that moderately high range, it's comfortable. You're living comfortably, which is fine. Again, you're comfortable. But it's, again, and that's why people tend to drop off after they reach or attain that level, is because now they're living a comfortable life. So be it, whatever. So people, I get it, and it's again, it's something that I use in education. It's just like, if you want to get better at something, if you want to achieve something new, you have to be a little bit uncomfortable, right? Nothing happens when you stay within your comfort zone. You just kind of maintain your status quo. And if that's what you're happy doing, so be it. Good for you. But again, but then it's your fault if you're expecting something more or something better.
So I guess it's never has it been easier to attain that, but never has it been harder, because you're literally being sucked down by all of society. Like,
everything we do now is to make our lives. And again, we've talked about, wanting simplicity and ease in life.
100%.
But everything we do now is to make our lives easier. And I think it's reached a point where it's a detriment, right?
Yep.
I'll think of an example, but I'll dip into fitness. I'll dip into like fitness just for a second, because it's kind of my thing. Like, I don't know, 1970, right? No one had a garage door opener. You had a garage. What you did was you drove up the driveway. You had to get out of the car, open up the garage door, get back in the car, drive it in, get out of the car again, close it. Like, so you're moving. You had to be physically. Everything we do now is just, how can I achieve something with the touch of a button? Or how can I achieve something? How can I get meals delivered to me without having to get off the couch?
I'm literally just gonna bring that up. Like, people don't even know how to grocery shop anymore. Like, people don't know how to buy a pineapple because they don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
move around the grocery store. Walk. Like, my daughter knows how to pick out mangoes. She knows how to smell the bottom of a pineapple. She's not even 4 yet. Because it's what we do. Like, she knows these are good apples. These ones aren't going to be good. Like, we don't buy the brown bananas. We buy the slightly green ones so that they can continue to ripe. Like, people don't do. That's the stuff where it's like, hey, come on. And now I get it. Again, where are you at in life? But there's certain things that we are not learning anymore that are necessities. Like that to me, cooking is a necessity. Now, I don't know, 5, 10 years from now, maybe I'm so busy, I have somebody that does my grocery shopping for me. But guess what? I know how to fucking go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And I promise you that if I'm that busy and I'm not moving, I'm working out an extra 20 minutes to make up for it because I understand that movement heals. Like, I need it. And I think a good example of this that we might have talked about this on here, but my wife and I obviously talked about it, but hiring somebody to clean our house. Did we talk about that?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. So we clean our house, but within the next year or two, we're going to hire somebody probably to come to our house once a week, once every 2 weeks to clean, to do like the major thing.
Sure.
That frees up a lot of time for Christy and I to make more money, right? To do what we need to do. But that person will not clean anything of Sloan's.
Okay.
Because she has to understand that that's a responsibility. She will not clean her bathroom. She will not clean her bedroom. She will not put her toilet. That's her responsibility. And she needs to understand that mom and dad, for 30 years, did that responsibility and were taught it, got to a point where we earned enough money that we could choose to get rid of that responsibility because we could make more money. And I will explain to her, if you choose to earn money, do the 70, 10, 20, and 10% as we talk about, because 20% goes to investments. We teach her that right now. She gets 10 coins. 1 goes into the 10%, 2 go into the 20%, and 7 go into that part of daily living.
Right.
If in that 70% you choose to spend that on a cleaning lady, then you don't have to clean your room. But you have to earn to do that. So I'm fine with that, right? If she's earning enough, if the lady costs $50 an hour and she's earning that and willing to pay, fine. But you see what I mean? Like, she's not going to get off the hook of learning responsibilities because mom and dad are wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening. You
have to earn that right, kind of.
Yeah, and she's more. I will teach her. I will help her earn that right. Mm-hmm. And she's like, Dad, I want to start a business. Dad, I want to do this. I will help and guide her through that entire process to earn that. I will, because that's valuable. And I already know that once this happens, that within like a month, she's going to be earning enough money to pay the cleaning lady. But that's neither here nor there. She's my kid, and she's going to be like, fine.
That's good. All right, man. So we kind of touched on everything now. So I haven't read ahead yet because I kind of wanted to knock this out before moving forward.
Same.
So next chapter looks like Meet the Goddess of Good Luck. And
I think we can probably read a little farther and past that. We'll talk off the air about that.
Okay.
We can probably sum up the rest of the book in probably the next podcast, I think.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, yeah. So I know our copies are a little bit different, but it looks like I got like, I don't know, 40 something pages left, maybe if that. So we could definitely like knock that out in a day or whatever. But anyway, yeah, dude, we'll coordinate. I'll keep reading, and then we'll figure out how we want to knock this out, and then we can move on to a different topic, man.
I like it.
All right. Appreciate it as always. Nice chatting with you. Take it easy.
See ya.